much of your time before Mr. Smith presents the activity side of things. I'll also give you some time if you need a couple more cookies on the there's an excessive amount, 30 dozen to be exact. Those can't go home with me or my kids. They're already hyper enough with school starting here. So please take a handful as you leave or as we go. First, thank you to everybody for coming tonight. Get some information here on the upcoming school year. Some information will be redundant from years before, but some of it here will be new. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm not a big microphone guy. As long as you can hear me, I'll just talk this way and we'll call it good. So for those of you that do not know, my name is Cody Assis. I'm the high school principal here at Nevada. This is my 4th year at the high school and my 6th year total in the district. So those of you that have seniors, I don't know, good or bad, they've been with me every single year that I've been here. So 2 years at the middle school, and then when they came to the high school, I liked them so much I decided to come up here also. So like I said, this will be my 6th year total in the district. Mr. Smith is right over here. This will be your 3rd year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3rd year as the high school assistant principal and activities director, and you'll hear from here in a little bit. Mr. Baker, our guidance counselor, is coming. I think he said he was stuck by a train or something. Imagine that. But he should be here in a little bit, and I don't think he's going to necessarily say anything presentation-wise, but he will be down here to possibly answer any questions that you might have. So he'll be here as well. Just to kind of go through our agenda, just so everyone's on the same page as this. Also, this is being recorded, which we will send out a link, a YouTube link of everything that will be discussed. I'll also send a PowerPoint as well, so if there's some bits and pieces that you might miss here, you can go back and watch it again if you'd like. But some different things, we'll go over some updates, some changes that are taking place at Nevada High School, some scheduling information, do a quick review of standards-based grading, which has kind of been the same for the past 3 years, but just to get that information out, talk about some communication pieces, the Tardy Policy, and then any questions that you might have for myself, Mr. Smith, or Mr. Baker, and then general questions, and then there's more specific ones that we can get those at the end. So just to start, just some new things that are taking place at the high school this year. Some of these might be more student-driven than necessarily all that really important to all of you, parent-wise. But one thing, we are going to install cell phone charging stations in the high school commons, just to be able to provide opportunities for students to charge their phones. They will also be available during activity events. So if you are at a basketball game or a volleyball game, phones that whatever it might be, you can go use those. We'll have a couple different options. Some will just be open ones that students can use and just plug in maybe while they're there for lunch. We'll have another set that's actually a lock box. So you can go in, put your phone in there, you create the combination, whatever, 643, and then kind of redial it, and it's locked in until there's accessibility for that. So with this, we will have to have some learning also with our students, just on what this means from a management standpoint. So we do hope that they'll take advantage of this for the positive, and this won't turn into something that we have to revolt from students that aren't able to use this for the correct reasons. One big thing from our students was that they wanted the ability to use credit cards and debit cards on the vending machine, so those are now accessible. That also available during the school day and also after as well, so students can take advantage of that if they'd like. The salad and soup bar was removed last year for some budget concerns, budget reasons. That has since been brought back. It won't be every day, but it will be a couple days a week, so we'll start to kind of work that back in. Again, that's a big thing from the students. They like the soup and salad bar. Some new opportunities that will be available during seminar. We'll have open gym, so if students want, if they've been able to check out a class, they will be able to go to the gym, and open gym will be there to shoot around, whatever it might be. We'll also provide a premier athletic training session during that time. That will run from 2:55 to around 3:30. So that will be an additional opportunity that kids can take advantage of a training session. For some in-season athletes that don't have strength conditioning in their schedule, they might be coming at 6 in the morning. They don't have to do that anymore. They could do it during seminar if they've earned that opportunity to be out of seminar, which we'll talk about in a second. This is a big one. Some of you might be against this, and we went before this. Before we were a Coke school, so Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite. We have since switched this year to being a Pepsi school. So now Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Gatorade, Powerade. We were Powerade before, now we're Gatorade. So for those of you that like Pepsi, right on, this is for you. For those of you that don't like Pepsi and we're Coke fans, Casey still sells it. It's just the direction it's gone with some different opportunities that it presents. So that's one thing we're doing. You'll see, hopefully, the first day of school. That's kind of our hope, but it might be maybe the week after. We're going to get a ton of banners that are going to be hung out all throughout the parking lot on the light poles. You might think, oh, okay, whatever. But hopefully, with like our vision with what it's going to look like, I think it's going to be pretty cool, pretty outstanding for the students. A lot of climate and culture building with that. So our entire staff parking lot will have these, how tall are they? 3 feet? Yeah, 3 feet banners up on top of the light poles that have some Nevada Cub Pride things on them. Our student parking lot will have all of them. The Circle Drive area will have the Cub Stadium. And then also the baseball field and the softball field will have these as well. Those were funded by the Booster Club in those 2 areas. So look for that to come. Hopefully that'll be something pretty cool and exciting for us as we're continue to build the climate and culture. Some excitement around being a Cub. All right, so some updates here from an academic standpoint. So students that are taking digital curriculum or online classes, those could be Edmentum classes, those could be college credit classes through DMAT. If you're a freshman or a sophomore and taking that class, you're automatically assigned to a learning lab. So before, 2 years ago, students were kind of able to roam around just because of the age of those students. There's some research that shows that they need to be in a confined environment with adult supervision. So we have put all of those students into a learning lab. So if your student has an Edmentum class, say 3rd period, you'll actually see that there are 2 classes, Edmentum and then also an assigned learning lab. So that's only for freshmen and sophomores. Juniors and seniors have the opportunity to work off campus if their grades so allow. So we do grade checks every 3 weeks, which we'll also get into. If they don't meet the requirements for that, then they are also assigned to a learning lab. It usually takes about a day or 2 for the student to raise their grade to a B- or above in the classes that they might not have had that in to get out of the learning lab and re-earn that privilege. So that's one thing just want to make sure everybody's aware of. Here's a little bit more specific information on the grade checks. So they occur 3 times throughout the term. We communicate those dates up front. It's always on a Friday. The way the procedure goes, we check the grades on Friday. Students that are in an Edmentum or DMAC online class, if they don't meet the requirements for B- or above, in all their classes, it's communicated to them that they'll be in an assigned learning lab on Tuesday until their grades are raised. One thing we did add this year is also a pacing guide for Edmentum classes. So before we couldn't really track Edmentum classes, so if you're in an Edmentum class, you can just kind of go as you please. Now we have actually pacing spots set up just to make sure that the students are making progress in those classes. So if they are meeting those requirements, they'll continue to have the open campus privilege. Again, if not, they will be put into learning lab. 12th graders, it might be on the next one here, but there's also a seminar component which we'll get into. 9th and 12th graders that aren't meeting the Edmentum course expectations will have seminar restrictions. So they'll be placed in the seminar, which just makes sense because they don't have the B- or above in their classes, so they will have to stay there. They then wouldn't have the opportunity to sign out, go to the commons, go to the gym for an open gym, or go to a premier athletic training session. So I just want to make sure everybody, I guess, is aware of that, more specifically the Edmentum part that we did add into it this year.
One misconception, Mr. Asmus, is that those grade checks impact activities, and they don't impact activities, they just impact that restriction to the learning lab. So it's not an activity check, it's a DVD in the learning lab.
Yeah, so they could still practice, they still would be able to play, be in the play, whatever it might be during that time. Seniors also, we added this last year, that with their grade checks, we would also enforce them to be in seminar. So as it stands right now, the first day of school, seniors do not have to check in the seminar. However, they can earn that opportunity if they're not meeting academic requirements. So kind of the same thing, just added on, you'd be assigned to a learning lab and also assigned to seminar. Again, typically this takes 1 or 2 days to actually come back for this, and the students typically take care of their academic requirements. More specific student release information, so everybody's kind of on the same page. As you can see, the seniors do not have to check into seminar unless they're assigned to it. The juniors that have a B- or above in all their classes and medium facing of Edmentum can leave the building after they've checked in for seminar. If they do not have a B- or above, they have to stay in seminar. Juniors and seniors, again, that are taking college classes, this is kind of more specific. Falling on these lines, the grade checks that could get placed into a learning lab or in the seminar, any behavior or conduct issues that we might have or that might occur, we can take away that privilege away. And the key thing is they have to have permission from their parents for all this to go. So junior, senior will get a permission slip taken home that needs to be signed, releasing them, you giving them permission to be able to be released during that time. And again, at the very bottom, students can have the open campus revoked at any time if they violate these rules and will be placed into a learning lab. So again, we really talk to the students. We don't want to have to take away privileges or opportunities for you. It's the last thing that we want to do. It's the last thing that we like to do. However, their actions sometimes force that upon us. So it's something to be aware of. Some other updates here. This is a carryover from last year. We just changed one part of the language just to be a little bit more specific and clear with this. So in order for a student to participate in activities after school, extracurricular, whatever it might be, they do need to be in school for the entire day. I mean, at school all day period. Obviously, if they have an excused absence, it might be a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, funerals also are another one. Those are excused absences. So last year we had the conversation of, is a verified absence an excused absence? And the way that the state views it and the way that we view it as a district, it's not an excused absence. So the classic example is maybe your student's home or got home late or whatever it might be, they're tired, they want to sleep in an extra 2 hours so they don't come to school till third period. You call them in, that's fine, that's your choice to be able to call them in and say that they're not going to be at school. However, that is viewed as a verified absence, which then would prohibit them from being able to practice. You might think, how can you do this or that, whatever. It's really hard for us to be able to justify that a student can miss periods 1 and 2 to sleep, but they can go to an activity after school to participate. Again, our students are student athletes, student first, athlete seconds, not athlete students. So the big thing with this is just communication. We try and work with families. If there's another communication on things, we really try and work with parents on this. We don't want to have to hold them out. We just want them in school the entire day. And that's our number one goal, and that should also be students' number one goal. Advanced communication of appointments from a doctor or a dentist are exempt with signed documentation. We stretched that last year. Kristen Wakeman made calls to different places just to confirm that students were there because the documentation wasn't being brought back. So just keep it simple. You go to the doctor, just have them sign and say so-and-so was here so that we can excuse it. And one thing I just want everybody to know, but my whole life has been centered around athletics. So I totally get the need to be able to participate in extracurricular activities. I went to school to be able to play sports or do other things after school. So I don't want you to think like this is, what is he doing? Why are they trying to instill this? We're based on being active in extracurricular activities. However, we're also based on the academic side of things. So that's kind of the cornerstone to our philosophy and belief. If you're not sure how something's going to go, if it's going to be excused, unexcused, just ask. And we'll communicate things as best as we can and again, try and work with you. There were a couple examples last year where the student would be called out. The parent thought, oh, I called them out, it's okay, it's fine. As a parent, I can make that choice and be able to decide that they're not coming to school for X, Y, and Z. And that's right, you do. And it falls within our lines, whatever it might be, verified, unexcused, whatever. However, in order to participate in the extracurricular activity after school, which is a privilege, not a right that students have, they do have to meet the participation requirements. So, again, if you're not sure on something, just ask. And we'll work with you, as best as we can, but also kind of following the guidelines that we have. And this got a lot better as the year went on. We knew it was going to be crazy at the start. It's gotten a lot better. Some seminar information again, and also scheduling. So Monday is always a 90-minute late start. School starts at 9:40 on those days. We do not have seminar at the end of the day. Tuesday through Friday, we do have seminar from 2:48 to 3:20 each day. Again, the school day starts at 8:10 on Tuesday through Friday. Again, the students have been assigned to a seminar teacher. They will continue to work with that teacher until they're a senior. So when you're a freshman, you get placed into a seminar. You'll have that same seminar teacher your freshman year, sophomore year, and then your junior year, the same individual. Your senior year, we have a group of teachers, our vocal music and instrumental music teachers, Mrs. Frieders, and then also our special education teachers that we assign senior seminars to. And again, the reason to that is just because of some flexibility with their schedule, but then also kind of the lack of attendance from seniors going to seminar. So again, we really only need them if they earn seminar, which the majority of them don't. They do what's expected, and seminar for seniors really isn't an issue. But just so you know, you will be with the same teacher all the way through high school, unless there's some special circumstances where things might get changed. But for the majority of the students, 99% of them, they'll have the same seminar teacher all the way through. Some seminar expectations. You can't quite see this, but on the bottom one, I'll go over those. So again, in order to leave seminar, have to have a B- or above in all of your classes. One thing that's also in here is we do have some flexibility with the B-. So if we have a student that's literally doing everything that they can, the teacher agrees that maximum effort is being put forth, and a C just might be the best grade that they can get. We do work with the student and reward them for that. However, the B- is kind of set there as a baseline, and then the communication kind of comes from student to teacher. As the student will be very honest and say, there's nothing more I can do. A C is literally the best that I can get, Mr. Rasmus. I can't do anything more. I'm studying X number of hours a night. This is my max effort. Check in with the teacher. They agree. Yep, you're good. You can be out of seminar with your C. So we do have some special circumstances with that. However, we can't grant those unless we know about those. So we stress that to the teachers, stress that to the students, which we'll cover with our class meetings to start the school year, so they know that. However, there has to kind of be that agreement and be that sustained sense of effort that's taking place in the class. Juniors, again, with B- in all their classes, check in, and then they can leave the building, or they can go to the commons, the high school gym, or now the weight room. Seniors, again, have that same option, unless, of course, they're assigned to seminar. Then they have to go to that, which we refer during the grade check. If the teacher issues a pass, that does override all meetings. So if, say you're in physics, which Mr. Mills is teaching this year, you're in physics and he gives you a slip, please come to seminar to reassess for whatever it is. It is expected for the student to go to that. If they skip that meeting, an obvious consequence would be to have seminar for the rest of the week or for the next week. So the pass to seminar doesn't override everything else. And the students know that. They understand. The only area students should be during seminar, assigned seminar classroom, the commons if they're able to check out, the high school gym if they're able to check out, the weight room if they're able to check out, or off campus if they're a junior or senior and learn that opportunity. We don't want students in the locker room, we don't want students in the safe room, we don't want them rolling in the building, we don't want them in the middle school. These are the areas that they're supposed to be. And seminar is a common thing now. The juniors have a good sense of it, the sophomores have a pretty good sense after year one. There'll be a little bit of an adjustment for the freshmen, but honestly everything is an adjustment from middle school to high school. So we'll work with them, just as long as they're meeting our expectations and following through. The schedule here, I'll just send this out as a link to all the parents instead of going through and showing all this. There's just on it is just a regular high school schedule, which nothing's changed, the times are the same. The 90-minute late start schedule, and then the 2:15 early out, which is our most common early out schedule. So I'll send all those to all of you via email, but it is linked here on the PowerPoint. Some new courses that are being offered at the high school this year. First is language arts, and some of these really aren't new courses, they're just name changes. So instead of having World Lit Western and World Literature, we switched it to Western Literature and Eastern Literature, which is really what the content of the subject is. So those are two new worded questions. Video Essentials of Communication is a branch off of Essential Communication, which was previously called Oral Communication. And basically that's where we're getting speeches and whatnot we're noticing that some students are having difficulties giving speeches in front of people and in front of a group of people, and kind of have an interest of going into the media side of things. So we are offering to a small select group of students that have requested to be able to do their speeches in front of a video camera. So that's just kind of one thing that's a little bit different for students. I think we only have 12 students currently that will be in it next year, and just kind of a trial thing that we're just seeing how that goes. They'll also, on the back end of that, do some work to be able to publish the video, send out the video. So it's kind of a two-pronged part to that. Fine arts, we've expanded guitar to beginning guitar and intermediate guitar, which is awesome. We've had to buy a ton of new guitars. I had a student that made a guitar stand for everything, so that's been really cool to offer to our students. We switched the name from 912 band to instrumental band. Same thing, just a different name. We added Creative Sewing 2 for that Mrs. Onson teaches. So before we just had regular Creative Sewing 1. Now we've expanded that to Creative Sewing 2 as well. A new science elective, and the reason it's not listed as a science class is because it doesn't count as a science graduation requirement. So you have to take 6 science courses to be able to graduate. Those are typically integrated science 1 and 2, 1 credit for each. Biology, which would be 2 credits. Chemistry, which is 2 credits, and that's typically your 6. This is just kind of an extra elective that doesn't count again for your science graduation. Just a new class that Mr. Brown is teaching called Health, Science, Lifestyle, and Nutrition. Just an interest that he has and wants to be able to provide that to the students. Scale, again, is a program that's through DMAC. We've always had the most students in Story County, which is awesome. We celebrate that. And that is offered specifically just for juniors and seniors. It's a work-related experience class where the students are kind of going in a career interest area. And again, just want to go over that opportunity that students have. We have DMAC come in and they do a good job of kind of detailing that experience, and students that want to pursue it have that opportunity. One thing that we continue to press and push are the enterprises and internship opportunities. So food enterprise, embroidery enterprise, and manufacturing enterprise are opportunities that students can participate in. If it was up to me, I would make it a graduation requirement that every single student has to go through one type of internship prior to graduating. I don't care what it is, but one type of internship that's in the work-related field, something that they have an interest in, just to get a feel for what that world's like, and also if it's something that they have an interest in and want to pursue in college. However, it's a little difficult to get that in writing and get that into a graduation requirement. However, we push as many students as possible to have that opportunity. So that's business internship, and again, students would just come in and talk to myself, Mr. Baker, Mr. Smith, say that they have an interest in business internship. We've had people in a wide variety of things. We had students that were working with different teachers in the elementary and middle school that have a passion or a desire to be a teacher later on. We had some people that were working or doing an internship with a local realtor. We had some people, some things in Story County, medical. Just a wide variety of different internships throughout the community. We had a group of people that were working out at the golf course. So a lot of opportunities for kids. Mentoring internship, which is working with middle school students or elementary students, kind of in a one-on-one environment. We had one student last year that half of his day was working with different kids. He was a senior, his second semester. Half of his day was he was with a group of kids at the elementary for periods 1, 2, and then he came to the middle school 3, 4, just provided some mentoring to some younger students. And then also a learning lab assistant is another opportunity for students to provide some mentoring internship opportunities. One thing I just wanted to put on here with the new classes, and I think the majority of our students know this because we've gone over this over and over last year, but this might be new for the freshmen. Starting with the class in 2021, so our 2B juniors and below, so junior, sophomore, freshman, every class beyond, will have to take either honors psychology or sociology as a graduation requirement. And that's just correlating to state requirements from the Department of Ed. So just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Our current juniors, we've tried to get a lot of them into it this year. If not, they can obviously take one of the 2 next year as seniors. So just just want to make sure everybody, I guess, was on board with that, and we'll again go over this with our juniors, sophomores, and freshmen at the start of the year. So everyone's aware. It's kind of more of an educational piece during scheduling, which takes place in March, April, and May for the following year. But again, just want to make sure everybody is aware of that, because you will see in PowerSchool. So I'm going to take a break here and turn it over to Mr. Gross, who's got some information on a whole another opportunity that's just kind of in the works for students. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you're familiar with the Iowa Governor's Future Ready Initiative. One of the things they're pushing is registered apprenticeships. And these are popping up all over the state. Iowa was one of the first schools in the state to have one, working with Vermeer, a local partner, through their welding facility. Students are able to enter into a registered apprenticeship. And what that is they actually get paid for their on-the-job site. They document the skills that they learn on site. They get some credit at the local school. Has to be a junior, senior, 16 years or older. And we basically follow that exact same model here in your data with Almaco and PMI and Ames. We are working with another partner locally, we just haven't got them to confirm yet. Hopefully they will out 3. And how that would work for the welding is anybody in our welding that takes our welding program here for DMAC, takes all those classes. They would take that sequence as juniors. The summer of their junior year, they would apply to Almaco, PMI, and hopefully the other partner, be interviewed, and they would sign on as a registered apprenticeship. Their junior summer, they would work 8 weeks, 40 hours a week, getting paid the entire time for one of these businesses. All the while, there's on-the-job skills that the business is documenting and sending back to us as a district. That's their junior summer. If they meet behavioral competencies, which are identified as a business, which are your soft skills, as a senior, they would go to school half-time or 4 hours. They would work at the business for 4 hours of their day. So they would literally be here for part of the day, at the business half the day, getting paid for the 4 hours they're at the business. And again, documenting skills they're learning on the job that we keep. DMAC is paired with that program, so students who enroll in this can actually earn credits towards an Associate's of Applied Sciences for DMAC. So they do that all their senior year. At the end of the senior year, they graduate, they go full-time with Almaco or PMI, still working with a mentor, and they continue to document these on-the-job skills for another whole year. That company sends that information back to us, we keep track of it. Those kids at the end of those 3 years have been getting paid on business, developing skills in a welding-related career, and then become a certified apprentice at the end of that. And if they continue to take classes through DMAC and paid for them once they graduate, they can earn their Associates of Applied Science. Right now, we're in the final stages of this. I've met with the businesses on and off all summer. They have the final draft of our document. It's also going to the U.S. Department of Labor. As soon as we get the information back, our board will sign off on it. We'll send it to the U.S. Department of Labor. They sign off on it. And then we could potentially in that program this year as juniors. And there's a way to onboard seniors initially. Apply for, be selected by these businesses, and then go into that registered apprenticeship. That's our first one. Second opportunity to work on is meat cutter with Fairway. I met with our Fairway meat manager, Matt Crucia, and a representative from them in Boone. They have this set up in Boone already. There's just some politics that are going on with that right now on all of that we're working through, but I'm fairly confident we'll have that as an opportunity for kids. Same kind of deal, except for it's not tied to DMAC. They wouldn't get the Associates of Applied Science, but they would, again, work here part-time, come to school part-time, work towards graduation, be on site at Fairway, getting paid, and moving up to their meat cutter program. And we're looking to continue to add these moving forward. So other areas we're looking to is developing something in agriculture. With Mr. Cooper, he did through his ag mechanics class, and working with other manufacturers on their assembly lines, like Almaco was expressed an interest. Hey, can we do something where we get kids run on our assembly line as well? The skills they learn within that class carry over nicely. We're going to explore that. And then we're also like to look into some like horticulture. But that is a new thing we're working on. Welding will be up and running. I'm fairly confident it'll be in front of our board before the end of August for them to approve, and so I'll probably for them to approve. And this winter, anybody in that program that is interested in apply with this city, and this summer we'll start on 90 days. So pretty unique opportunity for kids. And it's kind of had it before, PCO the last, since he's a principal even before, you're trying to find opportunities for kids, right? Whatever that may be. We see this as another potential opportunity for certain students who maybe don't want to go to career college, can go to work for a local business, get paid really, really well, have some really valuable skills. In Story County alone, like Edie's going to add 40 welders in her expansion. They have a need for 40. And that's just here in Story County. And we know that's going across the country. So excited about that opportunity. We're going to continue trying to add them. They'll all look a little different, but the general layout will be the same. We'll be paid for job learning, basic classes here, they'll move along and that. So there's more information that will come out. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're just going to get started this here in Vegas.
Chris would be here at the very end.
Yeah.
Anybody has any more specific questions on this new opportunity? And this is kind of the first time it's really been communicated, I think, out. So he will be here to answer questions again at the end, just to make sure we're all kind of just provide more information on this as we continue to learn and grow with this. Some more specific information related to high school opportunities. I'm not going to go through every single thing that's on here, all the bullet points. You can read it if you like, or go through it on the PowerPoint. But one switch we did make 2 years ago was adding Learning Lab, which is just basically for some students it's a break during the day. For other students it's to provide some additional study opportunities. It also opens the door for students to be able to go talk to teachers that they might need some extra assistance in. So if you see Learning Lab on your student schedule, that's almost the same as a study hall. However, it is supervised by content teachers. So it's basically, like it says on the bottom, structured learning environment for students not meeting expectations, possibly in other areas. Also, the big thing with our Learning Lab is just for some students they used to be break during the day. So that is one opportunity that is accessible to students. Our PE requirements, so every student by law and state bio needs to be enrolled in PE. For us, 43 minutes every single period throughout the entire school year. There are some waivers that are available to students versus a religious waiver, a medical waiver, an academic waiver, or an athletic participation waiver. So some of these are pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So the athletic participation can be a maximum of a half a year for a student, so 2 terms or 1 semester. So the students participating in volleyball and basketball, they could get a PE waiver during the fall, during the fall first term, and then also the second term because they're in the sport during both of those times. Say they might run cross country and track, they could get a waiver term 1 and then also term 4. Another one is an academic waiver, which is for a student that is enrolled in an academic course not otherwise available. So the course is only offered during 4th period. That's the same time as the PE. We can waive the PE for the student to be in that course. Another extension of that is for career interest opportunities. So say a student might have the opportunity to be in an internship and it's the only place in their schedule is 4th period. We will waive PE to provide students that opportunity. So just want to, and then the medical obviously is a doctor's note that's saying that they're excused from PE, and then also the religious waiver, which comes from parents or guardians. So if your student has a PE waiver, it does need to be signed by me, the student, and then also parent or guardian regarding that. We have probably 80% of them in, I would say, for upcoming waivers. So you might see at the start of the year, or possibly at the start of the second semester, some waivers coming home that just need to be signed, and that's just for documentation purposes for the department. Standards-based grading, which is the cornerstone of our grading philosophy. Just kind of walking through the history of this. So 2014-15, discussion started regarding standards-based grading. The next year, every teacher had to implement 1 course. The following year, 2 courses, first semester, 3 courses, second semester. And then since 2017-18, all of our courses have been followed standard-based grading guidelines, except for a few honors and upper level courses, and also some dual credit courses because the credit's actually coming from The grading scale for that, and this is all on Power School, and it is pretty clear now, and it's just kind of the common way that things are taking place. It will be new for the incoming freshmen, so we will go over that with them just to make sure expectations are clear moving forward. But students can basically get 5 different grades: a 4 on an assessment, which is the equivalent of an A; a 3.5, which is the equivalent of an A minus; a 3, which is the equivalent of a B; a 2, which is the equivalent of a C; and then a 1 and a 0 are both entered in as Fs. And the difference between those is a 0 means the student did nothing. They didn't attempt anything, they didn't turn anything in. A 1 means that they made an attempt, however, their demonstration of knowledge didn't meet the proficiency level that's expected for the class. So those are, the 5 different grades that you can get. You do have the opportunity to reassess on different things, and we'll get into this, but each teacher kind of has a reassessment protocol that needs to occur prior to reassessment taking place. Our end goal of all this is to ensure all students master essential standards by the time that they leave high school. And that kind of starts from a number of different things and philosophies. And we know some people are in favor of this and some people are not in favor of this. We know some people are in favor of tradition or not a fan of traditional grading and a fan of this. This just ensures for us that we're following specifically what the Department of Ed says, and I have the quote up here. Iowa Core Standards describe what students should know and be able to do from kindergarten through 12th grade. And it lists the course there. So the bottom part, in other words, the Iowa Core must be the driving force in what our students know. And standards-based grading provides us that opportunity. Another part from the Department of Ed. Full implementation is accomplished of knowing what a student knows when the district or school is able to provide evidence that an ongoing process is in place to ensure that each and every student is learning the standards of the Iowa Core. So again, in other words, making sure that every assessment or everything that we do is tied directly to the Iowa Core. That's what we currently have in place. This philosophy stands in a view of a purpose of a grade as an accurate reflection of what a student knows at this point in time, or that point in time, whenever the grade is given, as it relates to the Iowa Core. So we want the grade to be based on what they know specifically that's in the course. We don't want the grade to be based on their ability to turn in assignments, or their ability to bring in, the classic example is Kleenex for extra credit. We want it to align specifically to exactly what the Iowa Core says students should know for that semester. So a grade in chemistry truly depicts a student's knowledge and understanding of chemistry standards. But then that just falls in line with all the courses that we offer. Gone through the proficiency standard, the common questions that come up, well, how does this affect GPA? GPA's figured the same, honor rolls figured the same. Everything falls in line with the same thing. It's just based on the student's ability to earn the grade based on their understanding of the standards that are in place. Extra credit isn't really a part of standards-based grading. Again, it really falls into assessments and grades being directly tied to what students know in the Iowa Core. So I talked about reassessment. Students will, and this kind of hits on this, students will have the opportunity to reassess on assessment that they might take. Say they took it over standard 2 in integrated science 1, and they want to reassess on that. Mrs. Ford, who's our new integrated science teacher, would have a reassessment protocol that's set up for the student to be able to reassess. For some teachers, it might be a 15-minute check-in. It might be a day of relearning during seminar. It might be that all assignments, whatever it might be for that particular standard, need to be turned in prior to reassessment, gain an opportunity. Again, that all falls in line with communication. Stress to our teachers to communicate to the students and also all of you, parents and guardians, specifically on what their reassessment procedures are, so the students know exactly what they have to do to have the opportunity to earn a reassessment. Incompletes at the end of courses can be offered. They're student initiated, so if the student might have had some different events that took place during the school year. Could be related to an illness, could be related to they're just putting in max effort, and this is just a challenging class for them. They can request an incomplete. It isn't automatically granted. We do have some students, believe it or not, that wait till the very end to turn in different things. They didn't quite get everything managed the way that they thought, and they're 1 or 2 standards short. If they weren't coming in for reassessment, if they weren't putting max effort throughout the semester, we will support the teacher in not granting the incomplete, because again, it has not been earned. They just put things off and rush to the very end to get things turned in. So kind of a judgment call by us, however, it's based off of the ongoing work that's being demonstrated throughout the semester and term by us. Some other opportunities here that are available for students. Say students might not have passed a course, let's say that course is biology first semester. They do have the opportunity through Edmentum, which is our digital curriculum online program, to retake that class through the online part. It doesn't get rid of the F, however. So if you have an F and then you have an A, you might think, okay, so they get a C. Not the way that it works. Because they failed the class, we have to keep the class, the F, on the transcript, and then also we would insert the new grade in A as well. We have some students that maybe they took that same biology class, they got a C in it, and then they'd like to try it again. So they can have the opportunity to retake the class as long as they don't go above the level, like the next level in sequence of classes. So we can't, basically you can't have a student that's a freshman that got an A- in Algebra 1, and then as a senior, after they pass Geometry, Algebra 2, Honors Calc, they want to retake Algebra 1 to get rid of that A- and get an A. They can't do that because they've taken all the other levels. So it has to be the next sequence of class. So if they did take biology, say they got a C and they wanted to retake it, they could retake the class. If they got a B, the C would be gone, the B would stay. Okay, so the difference is the higher grade, when both grades are passing, stay. If it's an F in another grade, the F stays and the new grade. So if we don't have, honestly, a whole lot of students that take advantage of this, maybe one or two, maybe three a semester, but just want to make sure it is available for students that would like to pursue that opportunity. Biggest thing I think that can fix all issues, all drama, all conflict, not only in education but maybe in life also, is effective communication and clear communication. And not just assuming different things based off of what people say, actually getting the facts and getting to know exactly specifically what is being communicated. So for us, we stress to our teachers that all syllabi have to be shared with students and parents and guardians. If you do not get a syllabus, or your student does not get a syllabus from a student, please let myself or Mr. Smith know so we can fix that for you. I have the teachers all share all their syllabus, so I can send it. If that might be the case, or the teacher can also obviously send it to them as well. But we do want to make sure that syllabus are clearly communicated to all students and parents and guardians. Through that, the biggest things are the expectations of the class are clearly defined, the reassessment protocol, so if the student needs to reassess, they know exactly what it is that needs to occur for them to reassess, and then also the final reassessment date. In the past, we've had some situations where we get to the second to last day of school, the student tries to reassess, and the teacher says, oh, no, you can't reassess, reassessment period's over. That's not fair to the students. They need to know specifically when that is. So we do want our teachers to communicate usually 2 to 3 weeks out from the end of the term or the semester when their final day for reassessment is taking place. And then also stress to the teachers that grades are updated regularly in Power School. We're going to stress through standards-based grading that a grade accurately reflects a student's grade at this particular moment. We need to make sure that we're updating it accurately. So if you feel that things aren't getting updated accurately, reach out to the teacher. If you're still not seeing anything, you can always come to myself, Mr. Smith, to make sure that that's occurring. And really, I was just talking to a parent a second ago who said they don't really, come to conferences anymore in high school. We encourage you to, but it makes sense because you essentially can have conferences every single day through Power School. You can get an up-to-date check of your student's grade every single day if you're checking their grades through Power School. But the way communication works with technology, email, whatnot, you can also, email to get different things. We encourage, again, everybody to come to conferences, but essentially, with Power School and the way technology is, you have the accessibility of conferences every single day to take advantage of. We got a few more. I know I'm talking a lot. You probably want some cookies and lemonade, and we'll give you a chance here before we switch over to Mr. Smith. But our tardy policy, just want to make sure, again, everybody's aware of this. So the tardy policy refreshes every term. So during that time, the student essentially has three tardies, if you will, in each period or block class. Once they get to the 4th tardy, they do have seminar restrictions for a week. Once they get to the 5th tardy, it's 2 weeks. The 6th tardy, it is seminar restrictions for the remainder of the year. And if they get to the magical number of 7, there are some different things that we look at to provide some discipline sanctions for the students. We have held people out of activities. We've had some people who didn't participate in the athletic event because they had more than 7 tardies in class. So that doesn't happen a whole lot. This policy has helped things. It's made Mr. Smith's day a little bit more busy, a couple weeks or months into the term. But it has helped with getting kids to class and being accountable. And that's really all that we're trying to do. Again, our expectation is to be to class on time. As long as they follow that, we don't have to revoke or take anything away from them, which again is the last thing that we want to do. All right. Made it through the end here. I got my email address, Mr. Smith, Mr. Baker, who's here also, for any questions that you might have related to anything that we talked about. It might be schedule related, whatever it is. Feel free to communicate with us. And really trying to be as student-centered as possible, and trying to take every student's individual needs and their requests into account with everything that that we try and do on a daily basis, whether it's from scheduling them and creating a path that's specific to them, or trying to provide unique learning opportunities for them. Really trying to be student-centered, and we hope you to take advantage of checking in with us if there's anything that you might have. Scheduling things is always the biggest kind of concern. If you want your student schedule printed, just check in with me right afterwards, and I'll run in and print them here and have them available for you. You can also access them through Power School. All those are up to date. I'd say probably 98% of the schedules are spot on, reflective of what they'll be. That includes seminar, the seminars that they have. Only 2% are basically new students that we don't quite have the schedules done because we don't have transcripts from the other schools that they're coming into. So if you're a new student, and that does not include incoming freshmen, just brand new students in the district, you probably don't have the schedule yet just because we don't have a transcript. However, everybody else, incoming freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, your schedules are all on. So with that, we've got 10 minutes or so. If you want to get up, stretch, cookies, lemonade are out there. If you have questions that you want to ask, I'll be available up here. Mr. Baker will be available. Mr. Smith's in the back also. Anything that we can help clear up or make more sense for all of you, we'll be here for that. Thank you for listening. At 7 o'clock, Mr. Smith will hit the activities.